Okay, as promised, these are going to be fajita stuffed bell peppers. All the flavor of fajitas in beautiful bell peppers that you're going to make fresh. And here's how you do it. Okay, so the first things first, you're going to cut off the top of your bell pepper. Okay, pull all that away. Pull out all this interior. It's called pith, P-I-T-H, excuse me. Okay, see it? You clean it all out. Get all your seeds out. Now, you're just going to let that sit for a second. I'm preheating my pan right now to 425 degrees, but I'm actually going to pump it up to 525. I want this flashed hot. What I'm using here is, if you remember, we made this the other day. This is the ghee, which is the clarified butter, where all the butter solids are out and we're left with only the butter fat. What that does is it allows us to cook at a higher temperature with butter, and it's not going to burn, and it's going to give an amazing flavor. On top of that, after it gets relatively hot, I'm going to add just a little bit of olive oil. So we're going to let that settle in and warm up real quick. Okay, that's all that's going to take. Here we go. Flash of olive oil. You want the olive oil to be one of the last things in before you start adding your vegetables. Your vegetables are shallots. You're adding mushrooms, and just take a look at what you're doing. You can create as many as you want or as few as you want. Whatever's left over will be served excellent with just a side dish of rice. Okay, now to add color, we're going to add some bell pepper. This is red bell pepper. And I've chopped up some green as well. Now this green bell pepper I already cooked a little bit. Okay, this is going to go really quickly because we're not going to cook it to the point of, insanity here. Now, to this, we're adding beef, although we added chicken to the last one. So I have some that are chicken, so chicken fajita stuffed bell peppers, and these are beef. Okay, just saute that up. Now, if you don't want to do store-bought seasonings, which I never really prefer to do, I highly recommend you make your own fajita mix. Very simple. You ready? I'm going to write it down underneath this, and also don't forget you're going to need to go to the YouTube channel to get this back because it will be coming off of Facebook Live. This is so that you can do questions with me. So, to make your own fajita mix, you're going to start off with cornstarch. Tablespoon of cornstarch. Okay? Tablespoon of onion powder. 1 tablespoon of garlic powder. These are powders. This is a teaspoon of curry. A teaspoon of cumin. My apologies. Fresh ground black pepper, that was a teaspoon there. A tablespoon of red chili. Tablespoon of cayenne pepper. This is a half a tablespoon of salt. Half a tablespoon of sugar. Okay, that's where you get your fajita flavoring right there. And then I like to put in my Cajun blackened seasoning so that I have a really beautiful spice blend. Okay, as this is all going through and sauteing down, Brian, if you have any questions, let me know.
None.
Okay, good. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'll be happy to answer them live, and then they will be on the live, the answers will be on the live version that'll be over on YouTube. You can add just a couple more drops of olive oil, not much, just a carrier. Now, to this, we're also going to add cilantro. This is fresh cilantro. That right there is probably about 4 tablespoons of fresh cilantro. Okay, now once the meat cooks down a little bit, all of this is going to be stuffed into a fresh bell pepper and going to be baked at 325 degrees for about 20 minutes, and that's it. If you overcook it, the bell peppers get soggy, and we don't want that. Now this is not quite through yet. We're going to add a couple more items, and I want you to see the amount of meat that I put in here was about 1.5 pounds, and I used stir-fry beef, which is always a really tender cut of beef. Now, if you don't want it overcooked, which I never do, I like it about mid-rare, you can stop right about here. It's not going to stop cooking because you're going to put it in the oven. Okay? To that, you're going to add 1 cup of corn and 1.5 cups of rice. Now, this rice I just made, the yellow coloring comes from 2 different things. I use Bijou Bacol. You can find that in the international aisle at your grocery store. or you can look online at Mexigrocer or something. It's a coloring that you can find to make yellow rice. I also added turmeric just for the health properties. And again, as someone had pointed out earlier, no, I'm not using onions, I'm using shallots. One, the flavor is much more rich and the oil is much lower, so people who are allergic to onions, like me, can actually handle it. Okay, so when we put that baking, let me see, not the baking powder, sorry, the cornstarch in there, it added a little bit of binder. Okay, and so what happens is, as we're stirring this up, it's gonna hold together just a little bit, and that's what's most important. Okay, this is technically done. So I'm gonna show you what we do, and then I'm gonna take it to the next level and show you what it looks like when it's done. So I actually did that this time. Here we go. You're gonna bring your finished version. The smell is just amazing in this room, by the way. You're gonna fill up your bell peppers. Put your bell peppers into a baking dish. It can be deep, it can be shallow. It doesn't really ultimately matter. Okay, add a little color at the top. This is then going to go into your baking pan. Now it's going to bake, again, 325 for about 20-25 minutes. When you're done, you're going to serve it on a bed of rice. Okay, on a bed of rice, the same rice you served, and you're going to put in, I use fresh rosemary, it's just an amazing fragrance for this, and a squeeze of lime for each one. And what you have is the most fabulous fajita stuffed bell peppers. So, have a good dinner, and we'll see you again soon.